Let's see. Looks like we're up and running. Oops. I just unsubscribed to ALR accidentally. Tier 5 white. There we go. I think everything should be good now. There we go. Yeah. Sweet. Okay. Welcome everybody. Let me try and find the standings from round 2. Round 2. What are we looking at? This is tier 5. I'm taking over for Jack because Jack isn't doing comms anymore. So I'm gonna be trying to do races where I can. I'll hopefully be able to do. What day is it? Tuesday. Maybe one Wednesday, one Thursday, one Friday if things go according to plan. But don't take my word for that because things might happen. But I'll try and do that because why not? Tier 5 white. So we've had our round at Montreal and we've had our round at the Nordschleife. Today we're at the Red Bull Ring. This is the closest tier out of all of them. So anything could happen between now and the end of the season. So at this point, we've got Fracas in P1. Even though he hasn't even got a podium, he's got 44 points. He's first. He is a point ahead of Jinx. He is 2 points ahead of Absolute, and he is 3 points ahead of Dr. Esty, and he is 4 points ahead of Blade Runner. So that is how close it is. The top 5 drivers all separated by 4 points. And then rounding out the top 10 are Beyond Shock, Unamo, Gamer MSA, or Felipe Mazda, Leadfoot, or Oxford TV. I don't know which names are going to be showing up on the stream today, but whatever it shows on the scoreboard is what I'm going to be saying. And Revelit, who I think was in Tier 6 the season before, is in 10th place. Then we got Charizard, Fred Monster, Joker, Big Papa, Udale, Baltazar, Bruschetti, and Quackhouse are the 18 drivers who've all competed so far. In the constructors, we've got the Ferrari 296. The brand new Ferrari is in first by about 13 points ahead of the Porsche 911, the old one, because the new Porsche hadn't actually been released at this point. Then the Huracan, the AMG 16, interestingly, and the BMW Z4 are in the top 5 of the Constructors' Championship. So welcome. I can see lots of people have joined. Give the chat a nice little thumbs up if you're watching. Get the algorithm going. Let's get some likes on the chat. And yeah, let's go through the grid for today. We got, excuse me, let me just adjust my headset. We've got 11 laps to start us off at the sprint with at Red Bull Ring. Quite a short lap. Very low on tyre wear, so I don't think it's going to be an issue in the sprint at all. It can actually rain here. I'm not sure if it rains in the race at all in either the sprint or the feature. Hopefully it does. I think there's been some rain this season in this tier, so I'll be excited to see that. So lining up in 16th place, we've got Quackhouse in the BMW Z4. Having a bit of struggle this season, I think, Quackhouse in that Z4. He was bottom of the standings that we looked at. Then we've got Joker in the AMG. This must be the 16 version, I'm guessing. So that's interesting. So he's a new one. I've never commentated on Joker before. Got Black Charizard, who used to race all the way up in Tier 2, but that was... well, actually, he was a Tier 1 driver at one point, back when we had only a couple of tiers, right at the start. See, we talk about like Season 5, Season 6. We're in Season 21 now. Then we got Fred Monster, who is the Tier 6 commentator, and he is lining up 13th in the... I think it's the Z4? I don't know. It's a BMW anyway. Then we got Absolute in 12th place, so a pretty bad qualify for Absolute. He was near the front of the standings when we looked. And then we have Beyond Shook in the Audi. Very good car, the Audi. But it's interesting because in this track, the FR cars, because there's a lot of bumpy curbs, especially turn 1, the FR cars will fare a lot better. So if we're seeing some spins today, I think it'll be the MR cars like the Audi. I had to race the Audi around here. It was all right, but it was just always scary, especially in the first corner and the last corner. Jinx in the Porsche is lining up 10th, so he'll probably lose a few spots there off the line. Brachetti in 9th in the Honda. This will see the Honda NSX Group 3, the 2017 version. Udele is in 8th in the BMW. So he's making his comeback, I think, after a few seasons off. Felipe Mazda is in 7th in, I think that's the Porsche as well. It looks like one. The Porsche never has a badge on the rear. Dr. SD is in 6th. He got a double win in Montreal. This is the Z4 for sure. And didn't race in last week. So yeah, expecting big things from SD with his 100% record so far. Blade Runner in the 296. These are guys at the top of the constructors. He's done pretty good in this tier so far. In 5th place, Leadfoot is in 4th in the Honda NSX. Big Popper, who's another one I've never commentated before, in the Huracan at lining up 3rd. So that's a pretty decent lap. Fracas in the 296. I don't think there's been many drivers who've led a championship after 2 rounds without even getting a podium. So he's done well there. Let's see if he can get his first podium in this sprint. Obviously the helper for the tier as well. And Revelit is in P1. So we got a Ferrari 1-2, but I'm pretty sure Revelit is in the 458, which is very quick off the line, but worse on fuel and tyres compared to the newer one. So let's get going. We have 11 laps. Let's see if we can make it round turn 1 cleanly. Lights out, away we go. Red Bull Ring is up and running. Terrible start as expected from Fracas. Leadfoot up into 2nd. Fracas down into 3rd. Into turn 1. Revelit holding out. Dr. SD trying to get past Fracas as well. So SD up into 3rd. Fracas 4th. Big Popper 5th. Brachetti's all the way up into 6th. Mazda 7th. Shook is 8th. Absolute is 9th. And Udele is in 10th. But we've got a big gaggle of cars a little bit further back. Let's see what happens in the run down to turn 3. Braking zone here. Really late on the brakes for Charizard. Is he going to make the corner? He does, but he's got to tiptoe around it. Looks like everyone actually made it through so far, so some good driving here. Everyone keeping out of trouble. Fracas is going to have to recover from 4th place to try and get back up the grid here. He's under pressure a bit from Big Popper and from Brachetti just behind as well. But it's looking good for Revelet at the front. Oh, he's got a half second. So he might lose. I think he's got it early enough that he's going to have to serve it on this lap. So we'll have to go up on with Leadfoot because he might actually take the lead of this one in his Honda. Not seen too many people driving this Honda. I think it's being driven in Tier 2 to varying 6 degrees of success by Autoration. There we go. There's the first change of the lead. SD's a little bit too far back to follow him through, but Leadfoot is going to be able to get back into Revelit's going to be able to get back into Leadfoot's slipstream and try and mount another overtake here at the start of lap 2. So let's go. Let's see what's going on at the back. Quackhouse, we got Udele, Blade Runner, Fred Monster, Jocker, and Jinx not in the top 10. Charizard is in the reverse grid pole position at the moment. Let's go back to the front. Round turn 1 goes Leadfoot, still in control at the front here. SD's starting to catch up to them as well. And he might actually go for a move on Revelit here. Again, the MR car is struggling around turn 1, and SD's going to try and send it. Late on the brakes. Gets the car turned. The M6 is up and away by the looks of it. And up to 2nd, SD goes. So Revelit not starting this one too well. Now Fracas is going to be the next one to try and get a move done on him. And the top 4 breaking away a little bit from Big Popper and the rest. Very much as you were for these 4. A little bit further back. Charizard's made up a place and Jinx has made up a place. But yeah, it's pretty close actually. I was expecting a bit more carnage. Let's see who's close. Shook is looking like he's put a bit of pressure on Felipe Mazda here. Around the penultimate corner. This is a really tricky one. You can get a great launch off the final corner if you get a good exit. I just heard a door shut. Not sure what's happening there. Mazda's got a bit of a run on Brachetti now. And it looks like Big Papa's got a half second there. Look at that, Mazda nearly losing it. But it is still pretty much line astern for all these drivers here. A little bit further down, looks like we've got a side-by-side between Absolute and Jocker. And Absolute's got a half second, Jocker doesn't, Jinx does, so Jocker could end up in 10th place here as long as he doesn't lose too much time. A little bit of contact between him and Fred Monster and Udale. I think Jocker just braked a little bit too early for that corner, and it's all gone wrong there. Quackhouse spinning in sympathy as well. I'll spare the blushes and not rewind that one. A little bit further up, Big Papa's got a full second penalty, so this is good news for Bruschetti. He is quite far back though, he might not be able to take advantage of this. Bruschetti needs to nail these two left-handers. Papa actually putting a lot of pressure on Fracas, so Fracas dropping back a little bit from the top three and falling into the clutches of Big Papa. Bruschetti is going to easily get that position. Felipe not able to take advantage there as well. It's a Big Papa. Oh, and he's out of shape here, so Beyond Shook might... Oh, Beyond Shook didn't get the best exit himself, so he wasn't able to take advantage of Felipe going a little bit wide there. A little bit further up, you got a real close fight for the front at the front now. Leadfoot starting to defend pretty hard against Dr. Esty here. Fracas with a half second might drop him back as well, so Bruschetti might be able to get another position here. Here comes Esty down the inside. Remember, he's got a double win at round one. He's trying to take the lead again. Leadfoot defending pretty decently there. Still keeps the lead. And Leadfoot looking like he's going a bit defensive in the next corner as well. Esty struggling to get alongside before the braking zone. And again, this NSX does have some good acceleration out of the slower corners, which I think is saving him a little bit here. Esty thinking about going the long way around, decides against it. Revelit try to line up something. Let's ride on board with Revelit, see if he can take advantage. See Charizard's risen up to 8th place as well there. There's a couple of drivers right at the back, but I think that's as a result of the spins that we saw. Esty a bit wide. Oh, that'll be a penalty for Esty for sure. He's gone way too wide there. Should be half a second. Unless he lifted a lot. Oh no, there it is. There's the half second. So he really needs to get into P1 and build up a little gap, because a half second penalty at this track is very defensible. Esty taking a really tight line through turn 1. Revelit not able to keep the traction through the corner. I think Leadfoot's got just about enough into the next braking point. Unless he brakes a little bit too early, let's see. No, he is nice and late on the brakes there. A little bit wide around the corner, Leadfoot. Almost let Esty get alongside. Yeah, Esty's in the Z4. He's going to try and go around the outside. Again, he's not able to get fully alongside Leadfoot to make that move around the outside workable. Nearly loses it on the throttle there. Looks like Esty's not using any traction though, which will be helping him a lot. Here we go, he's going for it. Leadfoot just needs to leave him the space because he will get the position back. And the question is, will Revelit be able to get past as well? It looks like it's going to be fairly easy. So only down to 3rd for Esty. Fracas slowly catching up to these guys as well as they keep fighting each other. So he's not out of the question for a podium yet, but Fracas still doesn't have a podium this season. And he's still not in the podium positions here. Obviously the 296 is really bad off the line. So even if you qualify on the front row like he did, you're not going to be on it for too long. Big gap between P5 and P6 though. A bit of a Felipe Mazda train. Going purple though at least now. So Who is in the battle for the top 10? We got Jinx and Absolute really battling it out for that last point, that reverse grid pole. Absolute trying to get, well, both of these guys are, I think they're second and third in the standings at this point. So battling this far down, they need to sort of get something sorted out. Jinx has a half-second penalty as well. Both of them are very wide around the corner. Absolute could have got that move done, but he followed Jinx's line. Then you got Fred Monster, who I think I might have put Fred Monster down as my pick for this tier. I can't remember. Or maybe I put SD. I can't remember. It was a long time ago in the predictors. Here we go. Absolute's going to take that P10, the crucial P10 here. A little bit further up. Everyone's really close together. Charizard's going for it on Big Popper, who left the door open. Shook is just waiting to try and follow someone through. Oh, and he just has nowhere to go. Loses all of his momentum, and these guys are still battling it out side by side into the first corner. Still got 5 laps to go here, so a lot can change. And Charizard gets that P7, which is quite crucial. They lost a lot of time to Felipe Mazda ahead, who set a 30.9, just 0.2 off of the fastest lap so far set by Udale. At the front, the top 4 very close together. Bruschetti trying his best to keep up. He's lapping in the 31s. They're all lapping in the 31s, actually. Where's Udale if he's got the fastest lap? He's quite a way cut off, so at least he'll get the fastest lap point. Should be good for the fastest lap. Quackhouse in 15th, Joker Blade Runner, Wally and Absolute all going to struggle to score points. They're going to have to start the feature where they finish unless they can get themselves into the top 10. Jinx now 9th, managed to get past Beyond Shook. Charizard 8th. Let's ride on board with Fracas. He is trying to get himself on the podium for the first time. Actually, SD is starting to pressure Leadfoot again. So SD got past Reveille on this lap. Starting to recover a little bit. They're lapping in the 32s now. Well, 31s for the top 2. 32 for Reveille because he got overtaken. They all look so precarious through turn 1. Having to be very careful. Reveille's using traction, SD's not, and Leadfoot's not. So these guys being brave. Fracas is using traction. Looks like Bruschetti's not either. Interesting to see, actually. I don't see much traction control going on in the top 10. Maybe 3 of the top 10 have traction. Look at this, Jinx trying to get past Charizard. Oh, there's a yellow flag out for somebody. Oh dear, what happened? This looks like an unforced error. Right after going purple as well. Yeah, very easy to do. Just as I was talking about traction, traction would have prevented that. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh, very lucky that the ghosting is still on. And yeah, SD's not going to be scoring points. Good news for Absolute. Oh, he's inherited a top 10 position there. Shook and Jinx side by side. Shook's probably going to keep this one. Absolute might be able to get another position here. Ooh, a little bit. Yeah, just turning a little bit too much. Jinx had that corner. Very difficult to overtake around the outside there. Fred Monster's now caught up to this pack as well. He was quite a way cut. Oh dear. Was quite a way cut off. This is the M6 that he's driving, and he's about to get overtaken by Blade Runner. In the other 296 trying to recover. This is a really stressful part of a sprint race. You're so close to getting that reverse grid pole, which is going to completely change your night. Maybe a second away from it, but time's running out. A little bit further up, Charizard still ahead of Beyond Shook. They are starting to catch Big Popper now. And Felipe Mazda's started to catch Bruschetti as well, so he's on a bit of a charge here. 3 laps in a row, very consistent times in the mid 1 minute 30s for Felipe. Oh, half a second for Fracas. That's probably enough of a gap to keep P3 though. Especially if he just decides to go defensive just in case. He's very close to his first podium now of the season. Leadfoot. This might be Leadfoot's first ever time leading a race at ALR. He's quite new at this point into the league. And he's looking comfortable. Revelit started, I think, around about tier 4, then went down to the bottom tier for a season or two. Now he's obviously proving himself. Now he's gotten a bit more used to ALR racing, beating a lot of guys that were previously quicker than him. It's a strong car, the 458 as well. For this calendar, anyway. Not too much 6th gear needed in this calendar. So Fracas serves his half second. He is pretty close, Brachetti, if he wants to have a go. He needs to nail the next few corners, though. This is the penultimate lap now. A lot of drivers with a half second penalty. This might allow Fred Monster to just squeeze into the top 10 right at the end. He needs to get a lot closer though. Absolute wants to get ahead of Jinx to make sure that he can get in the top 10. And Shook looks like he's going to have a little bit of a go. He doesn't, but Absolute's absolutely sending it. Gets the spot. Now this is precarious for Jinx, but we're going to go to the front. Let's see if Leadfoot can keep this for the last couple of corners. Took the lead, did a good leapfrog of a lot of drivers at the start. Fended off a couple of drivers really well, especially SD was challenging him a couple of times. And he's going to take victory here in the sprints. Really solid drive. Oh no, he's not. I thought that was the last lap. Never mind. Let's go back. Fred Monster's up in 9th. Absolute's dropped to 12th. Okay, there's been some drama. Let's go back and see. So Absolute was 9th and Jinx was 10th. I thought that was the last lap. We got Fred Monster not far back. These guys served the half second penalty. Fred Monster easily gets past them. And yeah, Absolute just goes really wide there. Jinx is in 10th. He tries to rejoin, but then there's a car there in the middle of the corner. Blade Runner gets past. Blade Runner's got a huge run on Jinx, trying to get that reverse grid pole. He's going to get alongside. And he has to back out of it. Ooh, that might be a penalty for Jinx. It was a little bit wide. Sometimes you get away with that one. No, he hasn't got away with it. So, real tough one there. We've got Charizard still defending from Shook in the braking zone. And we've seen Fracas lose a position as well. So what's happened to Fracas? It was on the previous lap. Brachetti nudging his way through to get into that podium position on the penultimate lap. Let's go back to where we were. Fracas trying desperately to catch back up in the braking zone. Felipe Mazda's there as well, trying to get another spot. So Fracas's last couple of laps really falling apart here. You got shot off when you were ghosted. Yeah, I mean, I'd just get off. I'd go defensive if I'm serving a penalty at Red Bull Ring, because it's much more difficult to and you stay out of the way of other drivers there. But yeah, Fracas down to 5th now. Absolute down to 13th as a result of that. Defending from SD was all the way at the top as well. So this is a really open open tier, because the guys at the top of the standings are at the bottom of this sprint race. Coming around the final couple of corners now. Let's give him his flowers again. Leadfoot is going to take victory. from Revelit. Really strong performance by these two, far and away ahead of everyone else. Brachetti with a half-second penalty, and everyone else with a half-second penalty means that he keeps P3, Mazda P4, Fracas is going to stay in P5. And then Big Popper in 6th, pretty much on his own. Look at this. What is going on? Charizard 7th, Fred Monster 8th somehow, Blade Runner 9th, Jinx 10th, Jocker, Shook, Absolute, and SD all super close together. Let's go back on board with SD and see what happens at the end of this. Everyone's going side by side at the end, so everyone's getting bad exits out of this corner. And it's just going to be a huge gaggle of cars in front. And Shook gets nudged out to 12th from 8th. That's unfortunate. Very unfortunate. Okay. That was wild. So let's see what this feature race is going to have in store for us then. Is there going to be rain? I know there was rain in some feature races. I'm just not sure if it was this tier. Need to do the keyword ALR. Austria. There we go. Not this tier. Yes, this tier. Okay. So, strategy for the feature. Medium soft. I mean, we're in tier 5, so these guys are not as good at managing the tyres as some of the top guys. So I'm expecting hard medium from probably a lot of the grid. 2 stops just not going to work for anybody. Medium soft if they are in the right car and if they are careful, not using full lock to turn every single corner. I think it should be possible here more than anywhere else on the grid, on the calendar. So you got Udale, you got on me. Well, anyone. Let's see who's starting on hards. To be fair, everyone's on medium so far. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe everyone's gonna medium soft it. Charizard's on the hards, and he's the only one. So we'll have to see if he falls back or not. Jinx on pole, Blade Runner 2nd, Fred Monster 3rd, Charizard 4th, Big Popper 5th to start us off. Fracas still looking for his first podium. So, rolling start, 27 laps. Is everyone going to make it? Looks like everyone's making it through turn 1 pretty decently. Brachetti having to get overtaken by Leadfoot already by the looks of it. Run down to turn 3. Blade Runner under a bit of pressure from Fred Monster. Fred Monster trying to get alongside. And they're going to drag race down into turn 4 as well. Everyone else pretty much close behind as well. Charizard and Big Popper having a little scrap. So Fred Monster trying to send it again. And really early on the exit there for Fred Monster. Gets up into P2 very nicely. Charizard, remember, is on the hard tyres. Still holding on to P4 for now. And so far, so good for everybody. We got Felipe Mazda just overtaking Big Popper. Ooh, a little bit of a argy-bargy there. Looks like Big Popper's nudged his way back in front again. Can hear Fracas approaching in the background. Now the question is, who is good at picking their way through the field in this tier? Because they all seem to have a fairly similar pace. Here's Big Popper putting some challenge on Charizard now. Is he going to be later on the brakes to make turn 1? Charizard's late on the brakes. Felipe Mazda's super late on the brakes. Gets overtaken by Fracas. Is going to get overtaken by our sprint winner Leadfoot as well, who's all the way up into 7th early on. So who's had a bad start here? Looks like Revelit's made a mistake. Oh. Ooh, yeah. Just completely forgot to brake by the looks of it. Lost a lot of positions, not too much. Well, actually, he's really slow to get started as well, so he's pretty much at the back now. Jinx starting to build a little bit of a lead there, ahead of Fred Monster, who's having to defend a bit from Blade Runner on lap 2. Charizard, Big Popper. Oh, look at the exit there for Big Popper. He's going to get this position surely, finally, off of Black Charizard. And there we go, there's the position. Now what can Leadfoot do? He's already got his way past Fracas. He is making it, he's quick actually. Around here anyway, Leadfoot looks like he's head and shoulders above everyone else the way he's picking through this pack after winning the sprint race. Can he keep it up and get past Charizard quickly? Look at that, he's closed the gap massively through that little twisty section in Sector 2. And he's slowly getting alongside. And late on the brakes again. Charizard closes the door, keeps the position really well. Fracas going to follow Charizard back through. And now we might lose another one to Bruschetti. Ooh, he's boxed in a bit. And he's going to go a little bit wide. And he gets bumped by Felipe, so that is going to help him at least keep that position against Bruschetti, but he gets the half second for going wide. Okay, as soon as I said, oh yeah, he's doing well, he's carving through, he's stopped impressing me. There we go, he's kept the position on Bruschetti there. I think this is, they're in the same car there, they're the Honda NSX. Not that one, yeah. What's going on a bit further back? Jocker's made his way into the top 10. Didn't see him in the top 10 in the sprint. Quackhouse is in 11th, so great start for Quackhouse. And Udalay 12th, so Revelate shook in. Absolute. Oh dear. What's happened? Absolute Dr. Esty. Yeah, that's unfortunate. So yeah, Absolute waiting for Esty, who's done a 720 spin there. Still facing the wrong way. Oh dear. Esty's day started so good and it's completely fallen apart there. But at the front it is looking pretty consistent. 1, 2, 3, the top 4 have definitely broken away from everybody else. Charizard on the hards is starting to form a bit of a train behind him. Using the full width of the track, Jinx, but keeping it on. Under increasing pressure from Fred Monster, definitely. Fred Monster setting the fastest lap of 31.6 there. So I think the quickest lap in the sprint was a low 30 for reference. Big Popper's starting to lose a little bit of time. Fracas is past Charizard, so Felipe Mazda's going to be the next one to try and get past the hard runner. But to be fair, he's still ahead of a lot of drivers. He's not let the fact that he's the only one on the hard compound affect him too much. Ooh, a little bit of contact there. Leadfoot again running out of space to put his car, having another drag race with his teammate. So if I'm Felipe Mazda, I'm trying to get a good exit out this next corner to get alongside before the one that comes next. Or maybe a good exit out of the next left-hander after this one. He has to basically line Charizard up here. Some good defending. It looks like we're seeing a battle for the lead here as well. So coming up the hill, Fred Monster trying to go around the outside of Jinx by the looks of things. And he gets a nose in front. Goes off track a little bit, so that might be a penalty. But he is ahead. And Blade Runner, not too far behind, maybe going to try and take advantage. Looks like Fred Mazda isn't getting a penalty for that, so there might have been a bit of contact which caused him to go off. Jinx down to second. Has to defend now from third. And there was a bit of a twitch off track. I don't know if that'll be a penalty. Yeah, half a second for Jinx. So he needs to get back into the top spot. A little nudge from Fred Monster, but nothing too bad there. So Jinx might lose P2 here at the next braking zone. Frack is trying to catch up to these guys. All on his own in P5. Leadfoot is finally in P6. Udele, great start from Udele, who started 16th up into 7th now. So definitely has the good pace, just needs to find the consistency. Charizard down in 14th. So what happened? Are we seeing another spin, or are we going deep at turn 1? Oh, oh dear. Yep, that'll do it. So could be a long race from the back for Charizard now, along with Absolute and SD. But we got Jinx about to serve the half-second penalty. Oh, that was the season ban incident, I see. Jinx loses P2 to Blade Runner, but still in the podium position, still very close to P1, so still all to play for. Big Popper really back in with a chance of getting the podium here. Fracas lapping in the 31.9, so it is quicker than Big Popper, so he is catching the top 4. We keep fighting. Got Udele and Revelit now. Revelit making his recovery drive. Oh dear. Yep, the MRs in turn 1. Joker should get past quite comfortably now as a result of that. Really late on the brakes for Revelit. Gets it turned in perfectly though. Keeps the spot nicely. Which is going to back Joker into beyond Shuck and Felipe Mazda, which means that he'll potentially lose some positions and give Revelit a bit of breathing space there. The guys at the top still pretty close together. No one really putting too much pressure on at the moment. Fracas, Leadfoot, Udele, Revelit, Shuck and Joker make up the top 10. Let's see what happens at this penalty zone for Joker. Right, he's lost 2 spots there. Bruschetti trying to get a double overtake done, but Mazda super late on the brakes to keep P10. Joker under pressure now from Quackhouse. Quackhouse still with the main pack. Oops. Yep, that is the Z4. I think this was one of the tracks the Z4 was alright at, actually. Oh, we've seen another change in the podium spots. So what happens to Jinx? Big Popper with a half second. A little push to pass there. And losing it on the exit, but should get the spot back with that half second. Also, Fred Monster has a half second, so Blade Runner could take the lead of this race. it is definitely a game of who can get the fewest penalties. It's a good job for these guys that we have moved away from strict penalties, strict corner cutting, to light corner cutting penalties. There we go. There's the overtake. Blade Runner in the lead. Big Popper keeps third ahead of Jinx. Fracas will be continuing to catch up pretty nicely to these guys, because there's just a lot of battling going on and a lot of penalties going on at the front. So Blade Runner takes the lead with the 32. Fred Monster's in the 33s. Fracas is in the 31s. So this should be a 5-horse race fairly soon. Leadfoot's also in the 31s, and he's dragging Udalay along with him, and even Revelit and Beyond Shook aren't too far back. Then there's a bit of a gap to Brichetti and Mazda, who are side by side. Should be a rule. If your name's Mazda, you have to drive the Mazda. We got 2 of them. A Tenza, and the Tenza's not actually that bad anymore. It used to be terrible, and then you got obviously the RX Vision, which is always a popular car. So the question is, now Blade Runner's taken the lead for, I think, the first time. Is he going to be able to drive away? We know that the 296 has really good tyre life. So if any car is able to ease to a medium soft without having to worry too much about the tyres, it should be this one, depending on how the driver drives it, of course. He is going quicker than he has done so far. And he is starting to gap Fred Monster pretty nicely as well. I'd say that's maybe a second and a half. So he might have the pace to win this one. Yep, a 31.3 is his fastest lap, compared to a 32.3, so a full second quicker than Fred Monster. Very nice pace there on display. Big Popper under a lot of pressure from Jinx, who went all the way off the track in turn 1. That might be another penalty for Jinx. Yep, there we are. Fred Monster in the 33, Fracas, sorry, in the 33s that lap, so he must have made a mistake. Or maybe had a penalty. But yeah, lost a lot of that pace. Oh dear! What has happened? Seen a lot of casualties. Fred Monster has some has traction control. Oh, he's gone too deep, that's why. And then he's too aggressive on the throttle to try and make up for it, and then does his little half spin. And Fracas up into 4th, and Leadfoot, who is on an absolute charge, is into the top 5 now. So yeah, Leadfoot doing really well at the start of the race, then had a couple of minor incidents, now on a charge again. Udalay with a half second, might lose a spot to Revelit here as well. So yeah, that's good for Jinx and Popper, who've both gone up a spot. I can't remember when the pit window opened in this one. Medium soft, probably lap 14-ish, 13, 14. So there's a half second for Udalay. He's going to lose that one position. Revelit up into 7th now. And Fred Monster trying to keep up with these guys who he lost that spot to with the spin. Play the slipstream game and keep up that way. And Blade Runner is a long way ahead now. So he just set the fast lap of the race, the 31.1, super quick on the mediums. 32.7 for Big Popper, so that is 1.6 seconds quicker on that lap. So we're getting into the territory of potentially building an unassailable lead, unless something major happens for Blade Runner. Jinx putting out some pressure for this final podium position as well. Looks like he's got a decent run. Not quite enough to get alongside. Fracas looks like he's getting overtaken by Leadfoot now. He's going to try and go around the outside here. And yeah, just a little bit too much to do in that corner, and Fracas stays ahead. Fred Monster falling back into the clutches of Revelit though. He's not actually keeping up with these two. Maybe struggling a bit with the tyres wearing. Actually, let's do a quick tyre check. Who is the tyre whisperer here? Big Popper's tyres at the front. We're focusing on the front. Leadfoot's tyres look fairly decent at the front as well. No one's got amazing. Oh, Black Charizard's got amazing tyres, but he's on the hards, of course. So everyone's fairly even. Some a little bit worse than others. Some will have to come in a lap earlier, but then they'll get the undercut. Question is ooh, Jinx nearly losing it there, but saved it. The question is, are some people going to have to put on the hards? I don't think so. We'll have to see. Charizard can pit pretty early and put on the mediums and get a huge undercut on a lot of people that he's managed to keep up with. Jinx is really good out of turn 3, it looks like, compared to Popper, but can't quite do enough to get alongside. Blade Runner another 31.6, another 1. Oh no, only 0.3 quicker than Popper that lap. So Popper's finding some pace. Needs to keep this up though, because he needs to look over his shoulder a little bit as well, because not just Jinx behind, but Fracas and Leadfoot are looking pretty quick. They're lapping in the 32s at the moment. Fracas having to go defensive here. So is Leadfoot going to be able to do the up and under? Not quite. So Fracas covering it off nicely and keeps that P4. Stops the guys in the train behind from getting too far away. Reveille looking like he fancies a position soon. On the throttle on the exit there. He's definitely in the slipstream, but that M6 looked like he got a bit of traction down nicely. So we are approaching the pit window fairly soon. Is anyone going to try the 2-stop as well? Bit of a dodgy turn 3 there for Udalay, but keeps the position on beyond Shook. The two ahead are side by side. Fred Monster stuck on the outside here. Reveille breaks earlier, but Fred Monster has to go the long way around, and I think he's got it covered. Fred Monster in 6th place, keeps 6th place. And a little bit deep there for Fred Monster as well. And I think we've had someone in the pits. It is Charizard. He has come out early on the medium, so he'll be doing the rest of the race on these mediums. Full tank of fuel as well. So this is the AMG 2016 version, which is, I think it's a little bit better on acceleration than the 20 version. If that's the case, then it does suit this track pretty nicely. So let's see how many positions he can gain between now and when everyone else makes their pit stop. Blade Runner obviously already through turn 1 on the following lap. Still lapping in the 31s. Only a 10th quicker than Big Popper that time. And Jinx not quite close enough to have a move. And Fracas covering off Leadfoot pretty nicely as well. A bit further down, we got a battle for P12 between Jocker and Quackhouse. And Dr. Esty trying to catch up as well. Dr. Esty in the 32s. Quackhouse and Jocker are in the 33s here. Yeah, Esty will be wanting to get as many points as possible between now and the end. Obviously, still in a bit of a championship hunt. This is damage limitation round. Charizard starting his first flying lap. So, but really, if Charizard can get into the 31s for these next few laps, he'll be in a great position, or at least the low 32s, but ideally the 31s. He'll be in a great position to get a big undercut on a lot of guys whose tyres will be starting to wear now. I mean, look at the tyre wear on this Ferrari. He's still in the 31s despite the tyre wear. dipping into the 32s for the first time since lap 7 when he was battling. So maybe they are starting to go off. 1 second penalty for Big Popper and for Jinx. Great news for Fracas and Leadfoot as long as they don't start battling each other. Shook and Revelit side by side. Shook looks like he's got P7. Revelit holding it on the outside, gets a much better exit. And Udele is actually going to follow him through as well. So that's went a little bit wrong for Shook. That's why it's really difficult to commit to a move in turn 1 here. It's always better to try and line up a move into turn 3. Because if it goes wrong, you're not a sitting duck for anyone else. Because it just kills the time going side by side through that corner. Revelit with a half second though, that's going to potentially drop it back 1 or 2 spots. Let's see, what is Fracas up to? Is he close enough to Jinx to actually get a position? I don't think so. 1 second's quite a nasty penalty to be serving for the P2 and P3 drivers. But I think they might just have enough to get away with it. There we go, they are getting very close. So this is going to be an interesting next few laps. This is obviously helping Blade Runner build an even bigger gap here at the front. So 32.6 compared with 33.8, 34 for Big Popper, 32.2 for Blade Runner. Charizard at 32.7. So not quite at the pace of the top guys, but it is his fastest lap, quite comfortably. So 32.7. Absolute set of 32.7. 35 for Joker, so he's had a bad one. So yeah, I think Charizard needs to find a little bit extra time. Some of these guys are lapping slower. It is good to have the fresh air as well, the clear air. Here's Leadfoot trying to get into the top 4 for the first time in the race. Oh, great move around the outside if he can make this one stick. Still side by side going into the next one. And Leadfoot really looked like he backed out of that. Fracas carrying way more speed around the outside to keep that one. Still not over yet, but Fracas looks like he's closed that one off. A bit later on, the brakes covers him off. Up into 4th. So all that work catching the top 2 is being undone a little bit because they're starting to fight now. Still no one else into the pits yet. Oh, Fracas really deep on the brakes. That is an easy position loss there to Leadfoot. In the end, after all that fighting. And Leadfoot gets a beautiful exit through turn 1 to have a little cushion there. Big Popper's completely broke away from Jinx as well, half a second quicker on that lap. Anyone else in the pits yet? Ooh, a 1 second penalty for Shuckle dropping behind Brechetti. SD's got himself a half second. Jocker's in the pits. So the second person into the pits, is he going to do a medium hard there? I think he's going to have to because look how worn his mediums are. And Charizard, his last lap was in the 33s, 33 flat. Is he at cut? And if Jocker comes out on the hards, he does not want to be stuck behind him. What's going on? Where's the tyre change? Oh dear. Maybe he's given up, I don't know. Everyone else looks like they're going to be carrying on. Jinx is the first of the front runners into the pits. So this is, oh, out of fuel as well, completely. So Jinx really pushing hard on the fuel to stay with the lead pack. Some people have a good couple laps left. Revelit and Udele side by side. Udele tucking in behind for now. Jinx is changing his tyres. So is he going to get undercut by Charizard? I don't think so, because Charizard's a long way from finishing his lap. Jinx going to come out in a lot of free air. So this is great news. Not actually going for a full tank, and also putting on mediums. I'm confused. Oh no, it's softs. There we go. That's twice today that's caught me out. So, softs to the end. These should be some pretty quick times for Jinx. Is anyone at the front going to instantly respond by coming in, or are they going to try and stay out for longer? If I'm Blade Runner, I'm probably staying out a little bit longer. No need to come in and risk coming back out in traffic. Yep, he carries on. Big Popper only just in front of Leadfoot, so Leadfoot is on another charge here. Big Popper's coming in now. Leadfoot goes up into P2, Fracas goes up into P3 because he stays out. Revelit goes in, Brachetti goes in, Udele stays out, Shook is in, so basically half the field are coming in, and half the field staying out. So let's go back with Jinx and see if they can be at least at the head of the pack of the drivers that have come in. Big Popper is the one to look out for. It should be fairly close between them all. It depends though how much fuel savings happened. You see Jocker's got some good fuel, but he pit a good few laps ago and he's still in there. So, Big Popper, you can see he's just coming out of the pit lane. Now he's going to be slow out the pits. Round turn 1 goes Jinx. It's going to be very close between the pair of them. Big Popper's already out on track. Jinx just coming round turn 1. There we go. Maybe he's had enough to keep into P2 though. He didn't put in as much fuel, that's for sure. Maybe that was the big difference. Jinx very aggressive on the fuel in that first stint. It is possible to short shift. You don't actually have to short shift that much in the Porsche to gain a lot of fuel as well. But it is better to completely rev out the Porsche. But in future races you have to think about this kind of stuff. You got a lot of people in the higher tiers in some cars just half shifting, quarter shifting in some cars. I know the Citroen quarter shifts. And it gains you about, it can gain you like 5, 6, 7 seconds in the pit lane if you know what you're doing with the fuel and the shifting. Of course, a lot of these guys might actually not be on manual gears. So it looks like everyone else is coming in, including Quackhouse. So Popper is probably going to come out in P2 once all these guys come out. Unless Leadfoot's had an absolutely godly in-lap. Blade Runner's already coming out of the pits, so we know he's going to keep P1. And he's going to have the fresher tyres as well. Leadfoot is coming out. You can see him coming out. It's very similar to what we saw with Jinx and Big Popper on the previous one. He is a bit closer, but I think he is going to still stick in P2 here. So this, yeah, great drive so far from, ooh. They all survived somehow. That was a scary one. You got Fracas and Fred Monster really close together here. Looks like Fracas getting a better exit is going to get up into 5th ahead of Fred Monster. Revelit is going to be in 7th. Let's stick with these guys because it's still pretty much side by side. Long way around the outside for Fred Monster, and it doesn't work. Fracas covers it very nicely. Revelit's going to try and get through as well. Can't do anything about that. We got Shook, Brachetti, Udele in the top 10. Mazda 11th with a half second. Then we got a big gap to SD, Quackhouse, Absolute, and Charizard. Charizard's still in last place despite the big undercut attempt. It's just obviously not as good as putting on the softs. So let's see if Blade Runner can beat a 30.8, which is the current fastest lap. So 31.6 for Big Popper on fresh soft isn't what Healer wanted, and Jinx with the traffic has lost about a second of pace with the traffic there. And Fracas looks like he's going to be looking over his shoulders a bit more than trying to chase the cars in front. So it might be another race without a podium, but being close for Fracas. Going 3 wide into the braking zone here. Everyone makes it through this time. Quite a big range of nationalities in this tier, from different continents as well. So Blade Runner not quite hitting fastest lap territory for him as what he was doing on the medium tyres, but Leadfoot looks like he's going to set the fastest lap at the race here. He's got maybe 4 or 5 seconds to try and catch if he wants to get this race win and get a double win today. Half-second penalty for the 2 drivers behind. I mean, there's 7 laps to go. He could definitely do it. Needs to be maybe a second a lap quicker. Just sets the fastest lap at 30.4. That's only half a second quicker than Blade Runner. Might need some time penalties to actually catch that gap. It is a big, big gap. Frack is starting to drive away from Fred Monster now as well. Beyond Shook really closing in. Oh, there we go. On Brachetti. Udale a little bit too much speed in the braking zone there. Gets away with it. Is that a penalty? That's the question. It shouldn't be because he lost loads of time, but you know what GT is like. Looks like he's got away with it. Revelit putting a bit of pressure on Fred Monster. Nothing being done quite there. Now what's going to happen between these two guys? They've both got a half second to serve. Is anyone going to try and do the grass exploit? Doesn't look like it. Yeah, pretty much as you were. Some cars, I think the cars with the bad brakes don't actually brake as much when they serve a penalty, you know? That's my experience anyway. I've had an identical penalty to some other cars, approaching it at the exact same speed, and they lose less time than me, depending on which car you're in. Ooh, nearly a great exit there for Big Papa. Lost, went a little bit sideways there, but saved it nicely. Just not enough to have a go. Half second for Wally, half second for Revelit. So all these guys who are fighting each other are pushing really hard because they're all getting penalties at the same time. What's going on here? Absolute and Quackhouse having a bit of a battle. Ooh, very deep there for Absolute. Is that another penalty? No. Oh yeah. Never mind. So Fracas is in the 29s, by the way. And that is why he's caught up really quickly to Big Papa and Jinx. That is a good lap time. Obviously, like, lower fuel and the fresh softs are helping, but I don't think anyone else has actually set a 29. He's the only person in the 29s. Yeah. If he could do that for the rest of the race, he's definitely got a podium. Losing a bit of time though since I started riding on board. Let's see what Big Pop could do. Lost that position. Jinx is trying to get it back. Really late on the brakes to turn 1. Jinx trying to go the long way around and keep it, and he does. Okay, that was a good exit there for Jinx. Stays ahead, but we'll have to defend into the next braking zone. Really late on the brakes again for Big Papa. Up and under, not possible. Now what about Fracas? Fracas is now definitely in the mix here. Just needs to get a good exit from someone. Oh, a little bit of contact. Yeah, he has to let Jinx keep this position. Four laps to go. How are we doing on tyres? Let's have a quick check. Blade Runner's looking great. Leadfoot's looking great. Big Popper. Those rear tyres might struggle. Same for Jinx. Actually, and the front tyres for Jinx. Maybe came in a bit too early, but used too much fuel in the first stint as well. Fracas is looking pretty good. Fred Monster's looking pretty good. Felipe might be struggling a little bit. Quackhouse looking great on the tyres. Okay. So 31s now for Blade Runner. 30s for Leadfoot. Still catching. Just not quite enough. Big Popper with a half-second penalty. Jinx with tyres that are running out quickly. Might be mincemeat here against Fracas, who's going for it on the inside of turn 3. Jinx takes the corner wide and keeps the spot. Let's stick with this. Jinx driving really well out of the corners with that Porsche. And then it seems like Fracas is closing the gap in the section where he can use the extra grip that he's got on the tyres. Half-second penalty being served by Popper in P3. That'll bring him closer again. Nothing to be done at the moment, but is that enough tyre life for 3 laps? We'll have to see. Jinx has plenty of fuel, maybe too much fuel actually. Yep, none of them hitting the apex there. There we go, half second. This is Fracas's chance. Oh, never mind. Still might be Fracas's chance though, if he can overtake on track. So this is a big get out of jail free card for Big Popper, who had the half second penalty on the lap before. Swings and roundabouts. Just 2 laps left after this. I think that is enough for 2 laps in terms of the tyres. It's just going to be tough. I mean, he's sliding all over the place. Half second for these two. Frack is going to try it. Really late on the brakes there. Tough corner to get an overtake done, and still side by side. Now let's see. Fred Monster's going to get a great launch compared to these guys out in the final corner. Jinx still has a nose ahead. Fracas again having to tuck in behind. 2 laps to go. Look at that, Fred Monster completely closing the gap, actually not able to turn in for the corner. Might allow Rebel It to join the party as well. So Jinx is creating a bit of a train now. And Jinx just needs to nail the exits of every corner here. And P4, oh, keeps it flawed. Doesn't actually lose any positions. But Fracas will surely be sensing that it's coming. Oh! Bit of a dive there from Fred. Okay, he wasn't wasting any time. Revelit's trying to follow him through. Fracas completely caught off guard there. And late on the brakes for Fracas to try and keep the spot. And he is going to keep it. Meanwhile, Fred's going to try and get this from Jinx. Yeah, Jinx's tyres struggling. Fred's going to send it. Jinx brakes a lot earlier than Fred. Caught on the outside. And yeah, Fred up to 4th now, so that's some good overtaking from Fred right at the end here. As we start the final lap, you've got Fracas and Revelit really close. Brichetti's really close as well. And they all filter through. Big Popper's kind of broke away from this one. Oh, Jinx has another half second. Revelit trying his best to keep P7 now. Brichetti going around the outside. Revelit taking the inside and keeps it. And Fracas did get past Jinx. Jinx really struggling on these tyres right at the end. Everyone's queuing up to get the overtake done. It's going to have to be done maybe around the outside. Oh, a little bit of a switch back there. Jinx almost off track. Revelit through. But let's join Blade Runner, who is about to turn the final corner to take a really commanding win there. Great little strategy. Works his way to the front nicely. Leadfoot gets a P1 and a P2 for the day. Really strong performance for Leadfoot. Will shoot up the standings. You got Big Popper, who's on completely dead tyres and loses it right at the end, which puts Fracas up into 3rd. Right, what is happening here? He's going to lose it on his own. Look, his rear left is completely gone. Fred Monster's trying to get past, can't get past. Big Popper spins and Fracas just says thank you very much. I'll take P3. Fred's like, oh, what? I'll have to just take 4th, which he was in anyway. Big Popper's dropping like a stone. Revelit's going to take 5th. Brichetti 6th. Jinx 7th in the end with the dead tyres on that car. Popper 8th. SD is going to be in 9th. Mazda 10th. Shook. I get another one on completely dead tyres. Yeah. Is that actually going to be P11? I think Udele is going to be in P11. Don't know how he's so far down. Shook is going to be in 12th, is he? He's going to just stay ahead of Quackhouse. Then we have Absolute really far down, again with completely dead tyres. And Charizard on the hard mediums just gets a point in this one. And Joker comes back out to finish with a 19-minute lap there. So yeah, that's it. Let's see what happened with the standings after this one. So that was round 2. I have to scroll up. That was round 4. So at the end of round 3 in Tier 5 White, Fracas, especially with that double overtake right at the end, actually helped him keep the lead of the championship. He has a 3-point lead over Blade Runner, who got the win. Leadfoot, with his first P1 and P2, rises up to 3rd in the standings. Jinx is 4th in the standings, and Revelit is 5th in the standings. With Ferrari 296 taking about a 35-point lead in the constructors ahead of the Porsche team. So yeah, I'm going to try and do another one tomorrow if I can. So yeah, I'll see you then. Thanks for watching.